You are tuned to Kenneth Zenith Cablevision. Thank you for watching. It's time for talk. Each evening at this time, Monday through Friday, Rosemary interviews local personalities and others who bring items of interest to this community. Time for Talk is a community betterment service designed to cooperate with our local community betterment program. Tonight, Rosemary takes us by means of portable camera out of our studios and maybe into your neighborhood. And now, it's time for talk.
Welcome to Kennett and Mitchell Park. Well, do you know where you are tonight? You can tell by the location of the new lights and the sign, Welcome to Kennett. You're in Mitchell Park. And there's great doings here tonight. This area has been a boon to the downtown area, to the whole section of the Boot Heel of southeast Missouri. And we're here at the Ely Walker Shirt Factory number 5. Been made into marvelous apartments in here. And we've been in here and we've visited and shown you the inside of some of these apartments. And if you haven't seen it, you need to do that. But tonight there is a special thing going on. Channel 8 has been down. They are doing a live newscast in here. Diana Davis and Craig Rickert and Ryan Vaughn, all the dignitaries from Channel 8 that you know well on Channel 8. And so we're going in. We're going to catch the newscast. We're going to hear a dedication of this Mitchell Park, and then we'll eat some barbecue, I believe. Right now, I want to show you some pictures made in 1939 of people coming out this door. They were working here at the shirt factory. It was a booming industry, Ely Walker Shirt Factory. And Kennett was glad to have it. And 1939, you may recognize some of these people. Region 8 News, live, always tracking, always watching, always on. Well, let me tell you that we've got them today. They're here in the old Shirt Factory building, across from Sheryl Crow Pool. They're going to do a newscast in here today as part of their public relations with their viewing field. You see here the crew at work. They're putting up the last of the cameras. They're setting up the 2 chairs for Craig and Diana. Now, Craig and Diana have just come in the front door here, so we'll go out and see. I think the crowd is out there to meet them, and we'll go out and see this part. Hi. All right, you see what's involved when big time comes to town. You see Ryan Vaughn as the weatherman. Diana Davis, of course, is a co-anchor with Craig Rickert here. They part of their admiring public is here, and they are autographing pictures.
No matter how fast I write, I'm still slower than you.
Well, you're right. You have a little more on there. And you can read it.
Well, I have to get in this line just like everybody else does in order to interview the dignitaries that are here today. And if I can get by with it, I want to ask each one of them a question. We'll see. We'll see how it works. Maybe there are too many people for them to talk to us. I promised you a question for each one of the. Is it going to rain?
It is. There's thunder out there right now.
I thought so.
I brought that with me.
Oh, thank you. Why didn't we get him 2 weeks ago? All right, Ryan Vaughn.
Some sweet tea. That's all I need.
All right.
Thank you all so
And Diana Davis, you'll recognize. Everybody knows you in the whole Boot Hill. And I have a question for you. Do you really enjoy getting out? And aren't you sad we're not out in the 105?
Oh, no, I'm not sad about that part. I'm glad we're in here. This
love
is so much fun. And, you know, I'm a Show Me State girl. I'm from Missouri
Are you
originally.
really? Where?
Raytown, Missouri.
Raytown. Oh, she's up north. She's sort of a Yankee, sort of a Yankee.
That's right.
And Craig, we feel like we know Craig.
Well, I'd hope so.
Now, what is the most difficult part of organizing something like this?
I'll tell you
don't
what,
have any
I didn't
trouble?
have any much in organizing it, but I'll tell you, getting out here and just seeing the people's the best part of it. I can tell you that much. It's
You
so
enjoy,
much fun.
you enjoy
We don't get to see people when we do our jobs. We kind of work all by ourselves in this little building, and then we get to come out and do this and actually see people that we work for. We work for you.
All right, and we want to see you doing the newscast.
Oh,
We
you'll
really
see it.
want to see you
You'll see it.
live
Here's what
here.
you'll see is you'll see Diane and I fighting like cats and dogs, strangling each other. It's just, we don't like each other very much. We don't get along at all. So you're going to see something that we're not sure you want to be seen today.
Always watching, always on. Okay,
That's right.
all right.
Always tracking us.
We'll get the presentation. They're going to give a plaque to Keith and Robin for this Mitchell Park. All right, we have here, of course, you recognize the mayor, Roger Wheeler. We have Freddie Graham, who is president of the Chamber of Commerce. And I think we're about ready to get going. They're giving all the right signals. And if she breaks that, she's in trouble. Freddie's trying to call them to order.
Just don't get enough opportunity to speak in public. Back in 2003, many of you will remember, we made a great step forward in passing a sales tax issue for capital improvements that was dedicated to industrial development. And about a month after that passed, Matt Shetley called me and said, Jan, Cheryl Crow wants to donate money to fund the construction of a swimming pool. So the next step was to look at several locations. There was a 2-acre block behind our downtown area that had buildings on it. They kind of sat vacant for a few years. And our downtown is not quite what it used to be. We thought it had a great future there. So when Cheryl came home in August of 2003, Matt Shetley and I sat down with her and we all went over the various locations and looked about the good things and the challenges to each of the properties and came to that property. And when we said, Mr. Keith, Cheryl wants to donate the money to build a swimming pool, we've looked at this property, how much do you want for the property? Without hesitation, he said, I'll donate it. And that just demonstrates, Keith, what, you have our community's best interest at heart. We appreciate the long-time business of the Mitchell family and what a great success story this has been. We leveraged the value of that donation into a $250,000 grant that allowed us to demolish all of the unsafe and unsightly buildings on that property, as well as to demolish the 2-story concrete pool that the city could not afford to demolish for several years. We also then leveraged a portion of Cheryl's donation into a $400,000 grant that started the first part of the downtown. If not for that project, the pool and the park, this community would not see this facility. This would never have happened. But by default, now Melinda Harris and the fundraising committee, we have a very generous community, and this community donated almost $200,000 that allowed us to further develop the park. And the walking trail you see, the lighting, a lot of that came from the appropriation that we received from Senator Bond, as well as some other improvements. So we continue, again, this facility, this $12 million investment here is an example. This would never have happened had not been for that, and it would never have happened. Cheryl would have probably still donated the money had we located the pool in a different area. This would not have happened had it not been for Keith and Robin Mitchell. So.
On behalf of the citizens of Kennett, I get to present this small plaque, which will never, never, never really be enough to say thanks for what you've done.
As most of you know, I generally have something to say. When I became president of the board of the Kennett Chamber of Commerce, when Rosemary and Russ came to interview, I told them we would call that the year of the clown. And then when I went out, I explained it. And that's what I really feel like today. You know, a clown, just a normal human, they dress up, put on funny paint, funny hats, act silly, even sober. And that's sort of like I feel. I don't feel like really I did much for this accomplishment. Everything in my life has just sort of been blessed and luck and whatever the other words are. I don't feel like it's been anything that I've really done much effort to attain. And it is because the people in Zenith and Kennett and all the nice school teachers that brought me on this way, and the people who mentored me up to this point, and the smartest man I ever knew, Homer Gaskins, that did a lot to get me to this point. And I really, like I said, I could go on probably for a long time, longer than anyone would want to hear. I remember at the hospital in the early 60s, when I first came back to Kennett, it was the Duncan County Hospital, and when they would need more rooms or whatever, it would always be a fundraiser. And one year we had a particular physician whose name I won't mention, that they were kidding and said, why don't we build this wing and we'll put your name up here and memorial too. He didn't go for it. He said, yeah. He called them a couple expletives, but he said, yeah. And you all would be out here the morning after I died with a chisel taking that name off the side of the building. And that's sort of the way I feel about this. They may all be burned at some point, but at the present it's nice to see it and to have that recognition, because it worked out just wonderfully well for lots of reasons. And of course I still go back to Jan. When she started, I told her all along it would never work. You couldn't get anything done downtown, and we sure couldn't get anything close to done what has been done. And of course, like I told them at City Council, I said Jan was like God. I said she was here before the project started, and she's still with the project. I said she knows what's going on and knows the whole thing, and she does, and she's done a wonderful job, as well as at least two mayors along the way, and Mayor Parker, I think, probably started, and I think Mayor Brown probably was involved in some of the preliminary work before that, and all the people that have been involved in it. It's strictly been a community endeavor, and of course, I talked about Melinda. I don't know how much money she raised, and and that was almost personally contact she to whomever to get donations. I think the doctors of the hospital ended up giving something like $25,000, and all the people in town is just amazing. And I don't really know what else to ramble about. It's a wonderful occasion, and I hope it has been something the city will enjoy, and it will be something will continue to be a bright spot in downtown Kennett and in Kennett in general, because we definitely need the pool, and with Cheryl's help it ended up happening, and as well as just cleaning up and fixing up a little bit, it has done that too. But to the people of Kennett and the mayor and the city council and you all, and Jan, thank you very much. I overwhelmed, sort of, but I knew it was coming. But, thank you.
That concludes our official dedication ceremonies. KAIT is getting ready to start a live broadcast at 5 o'clock. They do encourage anyone that would like to watch that to do so.
You have been watching Time for Talk. Time for Talk is a community betterment service designed to cooperate with our local community betterment program and is produced through the facilities of the Slicer Street Church. The Holy Scriptures come alive. Coming up next. Stay tuned.